Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got a complete guide to the Phantom Bow in Battlefield 4. We're going to be covering the different types of ammo, how much damage they do, and how to use the custom aimer on the bow to make sure you're always hitting a headshot no matter what range you engage your opponent. As for acquiring this bow in a ranked game, you're pretty much going to have to unlock the Phantom Operative assignment, and currently the Reddit team is hard at work trying to figure out how to do this. It involves a password and battle log, and I'm going to put the link in the video description if you want to try and help out or figure out what's going on with the actual unlock of this bow. All the current gameplay is in an unranked server where we can actually play around and test out these things ahead of time. Now let's get started with your basic bow knowledge. Any class can use the Phantom. It's available in the carbine slot, and it has a fixed iron sight, a fixed stabilizer, but you can choose between one of 3 different types of ammo. Unlike Battlefield 3, however, you can't switch between these types of ammo in-game. You have to choose them before you spawn. Your 3 ammo types are broadhead for a general balanced arrow, you have the bullet point for long range engagements, and explosive for some extra splash damage. Each arrow has the same rate of fire, which takes about 2.4 seconds to reload and fire a new shot. Let's take a look at the broadhead shot. This shot really benefits from the ability to one-shot kill somebody with a upper torso shot in close quarters. That's approximately 35 meters or closer. Of course, you can always one-shot kill somebody with a headshot at any range with this arrow. However, if your opponent's running the defensive perk, you can no longer get an upper chest shot insta-kill in close quarters. It's going to take him down to around 7 health. When it comes to aiming this bow, understanding the green, yellow, and red reticle you have is very important to getting those headshots every single time. Green is for close range, yellow for medium range, and red for extreme long range. When using the broadhead arrow, you can pretty much aim for the head with your green reticle at up to around 40 meters away. Once you start going beyond 40 meters, you're going to want to start shifting closer and closer towards that yellow indicator. At around 75 meters, you can get an exact headshot with yellow. Once you get out to around 110 meters, you're going to want to be using the red reticle. Just keep that in mind when judging the distance to your target and split the difference when necessary. Moving on, we have the bullet point arrow, which is going to travel a lot faster and further than the broadhead. It is, however, going to do a little bit less damage. So this is for precision shooting, and if you're a headshot master, this might be the arrow to go with. Again, at any range, a headshot will kill with this arrow. However, in close quarters, if you hit an upper chest shot or body shot of any kind, you're only going to be doing 80 damage maximum. If that person has the defensive perk on, you'll only be doing 74 damage. Now for ranging with this arrow, you're going to want to use green for up to 50 meters away if you want that perfect headshot accuracy. As you start getting further than that, you're going to inch closer to yellow. Once you get out to around 115 meters from your target, aiming at the yellow directly will give you a perfect headshot. For extreme long range shooting with this, and I have to say I was barely even able to see my target when shooting from this distance, at 185 meters, red will give you a perfect headshot. Moving on to the final ammo type, we have the explosive tipped arrow, and this one is a bit of a tricky one to figure out because the damage model seems to be all over the place. Highly inconsistent results. For the most part, it should always one-shot somebody in the head, although I did have a weird instance of the arrow hitting somebody in the head, doing damage, and then the explosion hitting the wall behind them, so it didn't actually kill them with a one-shot headshot. Most of the time though, it did. When hitting somebody in the body, you should be doing about 80 damage to the upper torso, around 70-ish, 74 to the legs. Splash damaging your target is certainly a viable tactic, but you're only going to be doing about 1/3 of their health with each splash. Again, the damage seemed to fluctuate pretty randomly, and a lot of the time I'd hit somebody in the upper thigh and it would one-shot kill them anyway. Now when ranging this shot, you have to really be careful because if you're closer than 25 meters to your target, chances are the arrow is actually going to arc up so high that even if you aim directly at the green reticle you have, it's going to go over your target. So at about 25 meters away, aiming directly at green is advisable, but if you're closer than that, you're going to actually want to put the green marker at around their neck or upper torso to get a headshot. Then at around 35 meters away, you're going to be wanting to use yellow, and at around 43 meters away, red will get you a nice accurate shot again. One of the biggest letdowns with the explosive shot is that it didn't seem to do any damage to vehicles. You could technically kill a pilot out of a transport helicopter if you shot through a weird window on the back, but that's never really going to happen in game. So if you're looking forward to making some cool montage clips of you disabling a chopper with your explosive tipped arrow and watching it crash into a cliff or something like that, you're going to have to put that on hold for the time being. On the bright side, both the broadhead arrow and the bullet point will penetrate helicopter or vehicle glass, so you can still headshot pilots out of choppers. Another thing to note is that you cannot fire the bow while you are prone on the ground. This makes sense, but just so you know, if you're planning on sneaking around and crawling behind enemy lines, just make sure you get in crouch or stand up before you're ready to take a shot. And if you ever do find yourself in a position to get collateral damage, the arrows will penetrate multiple targets, so you could potentially get 3, 4, 5 headshots in a row. It's highly unlikely, but you know what? This is Battlefield 4 and crazier things have happened. Overall, I'm actually kind of excited by the prospects of having a bow in Battlefield. Unfortunately, it's really not that great. In fact, compared to the crossbow from Battlefield 3, it is significantly worse all around. Sure, it's got that kind of cool stealth elite operator aspect to it, but the fact that it takes up your primary weapon slot and not, say, a secondary weapon slot or your gadget slot really hurts how usable this weapon is going to be. And again, comparing it to the crossbow from Battlefield 3, you have to ready a shot before firing this weapon, so it requires a lot more anticipation and preparation than the crossbow did, which was hard enough to use in its own right. That being said, if you are determined to be the best Battlefield 4 bow user in the world, then I've made this little graphic here to help you range in a little bit better. It's much more important to know the ranges and drop-offs of the shots on this, because you can't follow your shots in at extreme long distances like you can with sniper rifles and, say, an 8x scope or a 20x scope. You lose sight of the arrow at those long distances, so you really have to know just how far you have to aim above your target. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.